Rob, we'll start with you. Welcome to Luton. Another chance to manage in the Championship.
Yeah, one I'm really looking forward to. It's a fantastic challenge. A brilliant football club with some brilliant people here that I've been lucky enough to meet over these last few days. So very, very lucky and really looking forward to it.
Gary, why the man to your left?
I think everybody will get to find that out in time, but a lot of it, Jeff, was about the process. So we started a long time ago, actually, collecting data. You know, we're a little bit like we now recruit players. We monitor managers, coaches, other people, and as soon as we knew that it was a likelihood that Nathan would be going to Southampton, then we started to draw on that data, draw on our knowledge, and build an objective plan going forward about who that would be to replace Nathan. Of course, they're big shoes to fill, and he's done a great job here, and probably take that opportunity to thank him and his staff, if I may, for the excellent job they did, and also just cover off. And I know probably it will be asked, but everything's gone great, and we've been all speaking to Nathan quite frequently since he's joined. But with Rob, what we saw is someone actually who we felt we needed somebody a little bit different. When there's a vacancy, there's always an opportunity to change, just to I dare say as well improve, to take time, but to improve, to go further and be a bit more ambitious. With Rob, we felt we had that, and so the way Rob likes to play football is the way we would like to play football. The way Rob managed, particularly Forest Green, was not dissimilar to the way we had a promotion or two at those levels. But the data is very, very synonymous to the way we play, the squad of players we've got, but the direction we want to take.
Rob, do you feel you have something to prove after what happened earlier in the season?
I think that's always the case, Jeff. So, the tenure was short, too short, but I think we've always got something to prove. We're all competitive. We always want to win and improve and build something. And I feel at this club it gives me the perfect opportunity now to show that and do that. And I think the biggest thing that you need for anything like that is support and time. And I really feel I get that here.
Gary, do you feel the fans will be too concerned about the connection with Watford before? There's only been one other person who's managed both clubs.
Yeah,
that's back in the 30s.
Listen, I know they will be. Look, we're going into this eyes wide open, and has it been a topic of conversation? Of course it has. Yeah, absolutely. We'd be foolish not to take that challenge, and it's a little bit of a challenge. I don't think it's a massive one though. At the end of the day, we've had an awful lot of players that have played for both clubs, and people and staff that we've had from Watford. But I can tell you now, the one thing over recent years that I've been, maybe the only thing I've been most impressed with Watford is their bold appointment at the time of Rob Edwards, and as speaking for Rob, if I may, if I was a Forest Green manager at that time and I was approached by a club that's just got relegated from the Premier League to apply itself to get promoted back into the Premier League from the Championship, I'd be a fool not to look at that and take it. It was a terrific opportunity, and so I think our supporters, we've got faith that 99% of them will look at that and say, Rob had no previous relationship with Luton or anything before. Why would that not be the case? So just because he's been there and his short stint, is so short that I'm sure he'll talk about that, but the relationship wasn't necessarily built up to the extent that it's going to be here. Yeah. So we just, when we met Rob, we just felt that his nature, his personality was so us as well, that we just felt very, very comfortable with him.
You, Rob, any issues with that situation?
It's not like I'm a Watford legend. I don't think it's, I'm not walking in here as some kind of a little bit more infamous, I suppose. The shortest spell was, look, I Gary said there, it was an opportunity for us to work at a higher level, a club that had been in the Premier League. Things went quickly, and it didn't happen. It didn't work out for different reasons. But then this now, it just feels right. It feels right. The conversations I've had with Mick and Gary and some of the staff and obviously the board, I think we all feel that we're on the same page. There's a real plan here at this football club. I'm really thankful to them for giving me this chance and for actually looking beyond where I have just been as well, because I know as fans of the club as well that would have been a difficult decision. So I'm really thankful for that chance. And I know we'll probably get, and this is always the case, you go into a new place, you've got to win over people, you've got to win supporters over, and results and performances will do that, and that's got to be our aim now.
You had success at League Two level. Can you achieve at Championship level?
We believe in ourselves, and I think the guys here believe in us, and it's not just me, it's everyone, all of us together, and that's what it's going to take to have success at any football club. It doesn't matter what level. I feel there's real similarities here, and the people here, and the plan and the way things are done to what we had at Forest Green. And I think we did well. I know we had success there. We had success there all together as a collective. I think there's real similarities in the values and the time and the support. And let's be honest, the work that Nathan, Alan and Chris and all of the guys have done, they've put the club in a fantastic position this season, obviously achieved really good things last season as well. So they're in a good place for us to try and build on and continue the good work and try and build on it as well.
And the culture here, you kind of half mentioned that there, the culture here is different to other clubs, one particularly. So is that something that you can draw upon here?
Definitely. I mean, that was one of the biggest things for me. It was as much now for me to make a decision now and pick the right next thing for me. Once we sat down and the three of us spoke first, it was straight away I thought, this feels right. It feels right for me as well, because as much as obviously a club wanting to appoint me, then I've got to make sure this next thing is I can see a future in me building something as well at the next place. It had to be that way, and that's something that I feel here. This
is a club that overachieves a lot, and the budget is one of the smallest in the Championship. So you've got to work with the team and almost get more out of them than is sometimes not. Well, it's sometimes not easy to do. If you see what I mean. That was probably what Nathan did so well here. The guys have done a fantastic job, and that's why Nathan has got the opportunity to work in the Premier League. But that's what draws me in, because you can see whenever you watch this group of players, they give everything. You can see they're coachable. You can see they're intelligent. There's good footballers here. They're a point outside the playoffs now, so they're showing how well they're doing again this season. So it's again continuing that good work and trying to build on it as well, and impart some of our work on what is already a team that's doing very, very well. They're used to punching above their weight, and I think we like that. I think we like that here. That's what we're about. We've got a really good group, and I can't wait to get working with them. Gary hinted a bit earlier. You're a bit more of a possession-based coach. Luton have been quite direct. They try and get the ball in the box to the two good strikers. Are you going to try and bring your philosophy here? I'm here to be able to work with the players, and obviously I have strong beliefs in how I want the game to be played, but what I've also got to do is recognise the great work that's already going on. The lads are getting results, the club's getting good results playing a certain way, so it'd be stupid of me then to rip things up and try and do something totally different. What we've got to do is be really clever, continue the great work, the stuff that has been successful over a period of time now, and then look to build and evolve as we go. But our job I believe a job as a manager is to try and get the best out of players, and they're already doing that now, so we've got to kind of draw on that and eke some more out as well, because I really believe in this group. I think they're capable of something special. The club are ambitious. Gary's obviously ambitious, wants to be in the Premier League. Is that something that you can see and you think you can do here? Anything is possible, and I feel I've been part of a Blackpool team a long time ago now that were probably favourites to go down, and we achieved something special under Ian Holloway with a really good group of people and players. I can see a really good group of people and players here, fantastic staff,
supporters who are right with the team and right behind them. So you can achieve when you have all that. You can achieve. Whether that's now, we don't know. But the aim is certainly to try and progress to that higher level at some stage over these next few years, and we'll be giving everything to try and do it right now, because we're in a really good position to do it. But also, more than half the league will be saying that as well. You know, the league's ridiculously tight this year.
You played for Wolves against Luton here back in the day, so you'll know what Kenilworth Road is like. It's nice and hostile. You enjoy that, won't you?
Yeah, and we've got to play on that. We've got to use it, and I can't wait to get out in front of the fans and trying to build that connection with them. We're going to need them. You know, get behind the boys. They're fantastic. Whenever I've been here, whether that's been as a player or coach or scouting, watching a game, you always feel the heat from the fans, and that's what we're going to need.
I think you were at the Stoke games. You'll know all about Luton anyway, having worked previously. What do you make of them? What are the strengths? What are the weaknesses?
Look, they're brilliant togetherness. That spirit, that honesty is there. There's some really good individual players. I'm not going to go through all the players now, but there's real clarity in how they play. They all know their roles and responsibilities very, very well. But that honesty is what draws me in. The work ethic, that togetherness that the team show, because that's your fundamentals. That's what gets you results, especially in this league. And you know, we're going to be coming up to a really busy period again. They've just had one bit of a break, and it's going to be really busy again. You can see that spirit, and that's something that really appeals to me.
Coaching staff, Richie Kyle, will he come with you? And you also had Kevin Foley at Wolves. Chance that he might come back to Luton?
Still working on the, you know, my support team now, the club support team now. We've got some really good conversations. So I'm looking to appoint. Hopefully, we'll be looking to announce a couple of people very, very soon. What
about, you've got 3 weeks until that first game, so it's a perfect time to meet the players, you know, set out your principles and work with them.
It's an ideal time, you know, if it's not at the beginning of the season. Obviously, it's a really unique set of circumstances, and yeah, we've got a chance now to get to know the players first of all, to try and introduce ourselves as well, and get some good work done in preparation for the Middlesbrough game. So it's obviously a unique set of circumstances, but if it's not going to be the beginning of the season, then this is the next best thing you could get.
Mick, does he get your seal of approval? That's the main person he's got to, you know, he's got to impress.
Well, I wouldn't say that, but I think he gets all of our seal of approval. Real genuine man, and that was one of the reasons why we appointed Rob, not because of his coaching abilities, because of his persona and his presence and his man. As a man, he's a good man, and he'll be a great fit for us.
Will you be helping him out for the first few weeks, few months?
I'd like to help, of course. Yeah, anything he needs, I'll be there to support. Yeah, he obviously needs to be helped in over the first 2 or 3 weeks, hopefully, and whatever he needs from me, I'll be there to support him. Yes, 100%.
Gary, obviously you've spoken about the ambition of the club. Do you see Rob as the one to get you where you want to be?
Absolutely, and you know, as we've always said during Nathan's time as well about our progress, is actually, it doesn't almost matter how quickly that is, as long as we keep progressing, you know. I mean, and that might not necessarily mean a place higher in the league every year. You know, there have been times when we've probably fallen a little bit below. You know, not often in the last 10 years or so. But we still progressed as a club, and you know, when a manager, the management and staff change like this, then it is a real threat that things can be disrupted. So our thought here is that this is going to be a change of least disruption, number one, but also somebody who can really grow with us. Yeah, so we need to have patience with that, and because we want to grow soundly and solidly, so that when we do progress, yeah, we're not necessarily falling back. There's no trapdoors. So that's an old saying that we have here: as we progress, there's no trapdoors. It's just a firm footing, a firm foundation, and we believe that Rob and the team that he'll bring eventually, that of course we've been meeting, but we can't quite be in a position to have them here today. Then I think that they'll certainly deliver that.
Just a couple more from me. You could have gone down the route of someone who had more championship experience, but you've decided to go with someone with League Two. What was the thought with that?
Yeah, we actually, you know, we didn't just look at one person, clearly, and Rob knows that, and we looked at other people. I think the championship experience, whilst it's a benefit, it wasn't a mandatory thing. You know, we did actually speak to a couple of people with no management experience. We spoke to people who had more management experience. I think when a club, and particularly we, go through this process, you know, it's something where you've got to look at many options, yeah, but I have to say, right from the outset, we had quite a clear mind, in all honesty, you know, that that list of people was very, very narrow, you know, that we identified right from the beginning, you know, right from day one, literally. And just one other thing I want to say to that, was going to chip in earlier, but the way Rob's career has progressed, had he not have made that move to Watford, we would still probably be sitting here, because actually, he, you know, it's really the identification of what he did at Forest Green that was really so impressive for us, and the way he got those players playing. Yeah. So yeah, we, as been said many times, we can't wait to get him started, actually, and all I'd say is to everybody that, you know, I urge everybody to make him feel welcome, make his staff feel welcome, and get behind the lads when we start against Middlesbrough and Millwall at home.
Rob, to final one from me, what's the message to the Luton supporters?
Continue to get behind, do what you do best, better than anyone else. Get behind the lads. We'll continue to work really, really hard and give everything for you as supporters, and try and make you proud to watch your team.
Cool.
Obviously, your Watford tenure didn't last as long as you wanted it to. I mean, did you, when you came out of that job, did you?
Why are you smiling? Why are you smiling when you say?
Did you want to get back into management fairly quickly as well? Was that what was on your mind?
Yeah, I think you know, human nature. It didn't probably knock my confidence a little bit, and had a few days early on where I thought, okay, right, what have I got to do now? But then quite quickly I got into, I was meeting a few people, got back out to games. I was lucky, the phone has been quite busy. And 5 or 6 weeks, if we actually think about it, is not that long to be out of the game. And so I'm really, really lucky and again, thankful for this opportunity. You know, you can be out for a lot longer, and you know, I probably would have worried a little bit more, but you know, it's been a little bit of a time to think and reflect, and as I say, pick the right opportunity, and I'm really pleased that this one came along.
Obviously, without going into too much detail about it, did you feel a little bit harshly treated? Because I know, obviously, the Championship managers, it's quite a short lifespan so far, this season especially, but did you find it a bit harshly treated, that it was quite...
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But I went into it with eyes wide open as well, and knew the risks. So, you know, I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, and you know, and again, I'm just, that bit's done. You know, I'll learn from it, and that's fine. I'm just thankful that I'm sat here right now, and at a fantastic football club with brilliant people, and can't wait to get started.
And there was obviously a game against Harford coming up next year, so that'll be interesting when that comes around, won't it? Yeah,
I think it's the first time here in around I think about 17 years when it comes around in front of the fans. So it'll be really exciting. Yeah, it'll be an interesting game when it comes around. We've obviously got a few more before that, and every game is, in the end, is only worth 3 points. But that, I know, is extra special to everyone. I know how much that means to people. Yeah, so it'll be a really good night, a really good day, that.
Scott, most of the players now, I think, are away for a bit, aren't they? So if they come back in a week's time or something, then do you get to work straight away with them?
Yeah, that's right. So back in on the 24th, the lads. We're going to be able to get away together as well for a few days, which will be great, and spend some time together, get to know them, and get some good work in, which is really important. The club have been great in backing us and doing that, and of course, yeah, then the games will come around pretty quickly. So yeah, it'll be a great little period, a run up now to that Middlesbrough game, a chance to get to know them and get some good work in as well.
Are you looking to organise some friendly matches as well, just so you can see?
Yeah, there's a friendly game that's in there as well, and obviously we can get some good training in. So you know, we'll be ready.
And is there any players that you know beforehand, or that you've either worked with, or you've had your eye on?
There's a couple. I mean, I know it was a while ago. Whoever talked about it, I think it was Jeff. You mentioned how long ago it was that I played here. No, I did have it when Clicker was here at Barnsley when I was coming towards the end of my career. Short spell at Norwich as well with Henry Lansbury. We were both on loan when we got promoted there at Norwich, so we were both part of that brilliant time as well then. So a couple of the boys, and obviously aware of a lot of them as well over the years of watching them play.
Your playing career ended fairly early with injury. Was management something that you always wanted to get involved in?
Yeah, it was. It was around that time when being involved in the successes there for those 2 years running at Blackpool, and again being involved, playing a small part. But it really made me think that's what I want to do. So after the time at Norwich, I got onto my B licence. I was about 27, 28, and my coaching journey sort of started then really. And yeah, when my playing time came to an end, it was almost one where I couldn't stay fit. My body was not in a great place, so it was just right. This is what I want to do, and went for it.
I think you also involved with England age groups. Is there any players there that you were with who have come through and done especially well since then?
Well, there's loads, and I'm not going to name any now because all of a sudden headlines are like Rob Edwards had something to do with and these were top players, and I was lucky to be working with them. But brilliant experience, and a lot of them now are playing Premier League football and doing very, very well, and it's great to see. What I will say, it was a real pleasure for me to be able to learn from a lot of good staff and people, Gareth and everyone, really open at the FA, and then work with some top players, and those top players they do it every single day, and it was great for me to be around them and see that that's the level, and it's brilliant to see some of them playing week in, week out, household names now.
And you played internationally yourself as well. I mean, would you have now an eye on the World Cup, especially Wales, and Tom Lockyer from here is over there, all playing, hopefully playing for them too?
I mean, obviously we've got a couple of lads that are out there, so we wish them well, and I know they'll go and represent the club really well, and themselves and their families. So we'll be keeping a special eye on them. And of course, it's the World Cup. It's an amazing event. I know there's a lot going on around it, but it's the World Cup, so of course I'll be keeping an eye on it, more than an eye on it. But this will take over quite a lot of my mind now going forward. So the World Cup, as it normally is obviously got all focus. It might be a little bit more on the side. No.
And have you been aware of Luton's rise? I mean, I think they were obviously back in the conference a few years back now, and up to the Championship in a fairly short space of time. So have you sort of been aware of it?
Just speaking to the chairman, then they've done it about 3 times since you've been coming and supporting, aren't they, chairman? So of course I'm aware of the journey, and a lot of brilliant people have helped this club get to where it is again now in quite a short space of time in recent years, and for it to be run now by supporters and people who really care passionately about this club, about the area. Again, was another thing that drew me in. We've got some brilliant people that are here that really, really care, and then for them to give me that opportunity is really humbling for me, and it's one that I intend to take, and can't wait to work with these people.
And there's big plans to move to Power Court.
Yeah.
Is that something you've been shown? And how
I have. Yeah. You can see how proud everyone is of the plans and everything that's in place to move there. Look, first of all, let's be honest, I can't wait to get out here when this place is full and meet all the supporters and have a game here. But it's really exciting, to be to see the plans for the club going forward. It's a really progressive football club, and the stadium looks incredible. And up there with anything. Of course, it might not be as big as Tottenham or something like that now, but so forward thinking of the things that everyone's thought about in terms of making it a brilliant place, still keeping in with tradition, this club, and everything that this club holds dear and the supporters holds dear to it, but in a new place and in helping improve the town as well and the surrounding area, I think it's amazing.
We even allowed Mike Moran to be his taxi driver, so we could. Yeah, he didn't know at the time, but it just to impart a bit of the Power Court knowledge onto him actually. So and Mike approves, by the way.
Yeah.
And you mentioned the first time game. I mean, how much did you forward to that? The reception from the fans and how it's going to be when you walk out.
Well, I'm really looking forward to it, and again, what we want the fans to do is obviously back the lads. That's the main thing here, and. We'll continue to work extremely hard to make sure the players are all ready and they feel confident and they're ready to give their best, which is what they do here. But to build on that connection is something that we'll have to keep working at over time as well. We know we've got to get results and performances for that, and and that's something that we'll strive to do consistently. We know we can't guarantee a win every week, but we can guarantee we're all going to give everything to try and do that. Thank you.
That's been made obviously about your previous club and their treatment of managers, but in your discussions here, I think we all know it, but is there something that was said that made you feel like there's more stability in this club?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. That's been a lot of almost every discussion that we have. It revolves around people and the right people, and building and progressing. And in order to do those things, you need time. You do. And like I said, okay, I knew what I was going into before, so fine. But I know what I'm going into here now as well, and it really excites me. Thank you.
Well, just going back to that experience at Watford, what were having made that step up to the Championship, what were the days and weeks like after that, in terms of worrying whether you get a chance again in the Championship, and how nice is it to have one again so quickly? It's
amazing to get one again so quickly. I'll be honest, that wasn't my mindset coming out of it, thinking, am I going to get a chance again in the Championship? I didn't feel like that. I backed myself that I know we can work at this level. Players are people. I know we can deal with people. Like we've said, the majority of my playing career was at this level, and I know it pretty well. But look, it's where you come back in. You can never tell. Football's quite strange like that. A lot of other jobs, maybe you can plot your route a little bit more, but you can't always do that in football. One thing that myself, my family, advisors always said to me was, we've got to be in a position that we've got to make sure that we pick the right thing as well, where we're going to be able to build something and have a project, if you like. I don't really like not that kind of word, but be able to get behind something and improve something and build on it. I don't think there's a better opportunity in this league than this football club. So for me to be sitting here now again is something that's it's fallen into place really nicely for me.
Is there a bit of added potential enjoyment for you maybe with the relationship between the two clubs, that you might be able to take Luton on to something special with a bit of time?
That again, that's not something I can think about. I let other people think about that and talk about that, and I want to concentrate on Luton Town Football Club and trying to do as well as we can. I know the rivalry's there. I didn't get a chance to manage the game, in reverse, the opposite way around. It's something that gonna have to do in a few months' time. But I'm going to concentrate on Luton.
Have you been given any sort of targets for this season? Gary, have you given him any?
Nothing specific that you would think that would be points related or position related. Look, we all know the opportunity. Doesn't need pointing out, and not one of us at this football club, doesn't matter who you talk to, is not going to take that opportunity if it arises. But I think we've really been talking about the growth and the values and the objectives of how we manage that transition as real tasks in hand. Not particularly points on the board or position in the table. I think this is a moment where we've got to, as a football club, take a little bit of perspective and see, and just stand back and just do a recheck on where we are, right? And as Jeff has pointed out, I think budget makes a lot of difference, but we are one of the lower spending football clubs on player salaries in this league. That can't change because we run sustainably, and as it should be, by the way. And that will correct over time, by the way. So we're doing things the right way in that aspect. If we're punching even a little bit above our weight, we're in a much better position. So we even we at the club are thankful for what we've got and where we are. That doesn't stop us from being ambitious and taking the opportunity if it arises, and maybe even going for that if we feel bold enough, right?
Yeah.
And Rob, just I suppose, I know you won't want to dwell on it too much, but it is the first time you've really spoken since leaving Watford. Everybody knows what Watford are like, but I suppose you went in there on promises that the club might have changed a bit. I suppose that was part of the surprise and the feeling that it was a harsh decision. Look,
it's done now. I know I haven't spoken since, and I didn't want to or need to. Maybe the actions probably spoke louder than anything else. So again, that part of it's done. It's done. I knew what I was going into. So I'm absolutely fine with it. I've moved on, and again, really pleased to be here at Luton Town.
And just on the World Cup again, obviously, like you said, you'll have a lot more work to do, but I think you played with Gareth Bale for Wales right at the start of his international career.
He played with me.
Yeah. Sorry.
Don't put that out there.
How excited are you to see him on the biggest stage?
Wow, he's unbelievable. I mean, what a player he's been for Wales and for every club that he's ever represented. Yeah, you're right. I mean, I think I was involved in his debut. I think he scored a free kick on his debut, and straight away, I think he was probably 16 at the time. Incredible young player at the time. Then I remember playing against him when he was at Southampton. I remember him just sort of bullying me, nicking the ball off me, and then turning and running back the other way. And I was just trying to chase him like this. And he was a teenager at the time. Outstanding footballer, unbelievable. What he's done for Welsh football, brilliant that he's been able to now lead his team, his nation, into a World Cup. And of course, I wish him well.
How do you think they'll get on?
I think they'll do well. What they have, similar to what we've just been talking about here, they have an unbelievable spirit, unbelievable togetherness, and they play hard on that, and they've got some real talent in there as well. I think they'll do well.
Great,
thank you.
Gary, the fact is the 3.5-year deal, does that show the commitment long term as well on the club's part towards Rob?
Yeah, I mean, this had to be a commitment, had to be the right decision. Hence the reason why we've gone into a lot of detail on that. It's a lot packed into a few days, Mike. So yeah, we back ourselves in that process. And when I say we, I'm talking here. I mean, it's more than a couple of people. It's not just about Mick and I and Wilco sat in the room. It's the whole board that was involved at every stage. Spoke with the board effectively every day. There was a recruitment team of people, which is effectively the player recruitment team slightly extended. Yeah. And it was a process that was followed that enabled us to back the man for that period of time, and that's the minimum time. so it would have extensions that could click on according to how well we do. So yeah, you've mentioned the word before. I think, can't remember who, but we're about stability and growth. Yeah, stability and growth. So if that's going to be the case, then we are not going to be looking at making changes too rapidly. It has happened in the past. We do get things wrong. You always need a little bit of luck. We always need a little bit of that. But and things can go wrong. But we're all absolutely convinced that this is our best chance of having that stability.
Was that something as well that you have got time to sort of grow into this role, and you will be in that attracted you to?
Of course, anyone in this game, this job, knows that's what we all crave. That's what we want, and that was the biggest thing that appealed to me in making this decision. And like I said, I know again, I'm really thankful for the opportunity that I've been given. But it was again, from my side, it was important for me as well that the next job gave me a chance, and I really feel this one does.
Gary, the data aspects of choosing a new manager is an interesting one. Is it something that you've been able to use for previous ones, or is it something new? What's your sort of take on that process?
We've never done that for previous managerial position. No. We've looked at statistics, slightly different statistics, and you can look at, various elements of data, but we delve deep as we do with players, and it's a bit more tricky with managers because they haven't got the ball at the feet, but and it's a bit trickier doing it with coaches who don't manage. But you can see some similarities. You can pick on some quite a lot of data that where coaches might have followed 2 or 3 managers and that kind of thing. So yeah, we have a way of doing it, and it's available for sale if any other club wants to buy it. It's not actually. So, but it's a sound process. James, and we're happy to have really lucky to have the people on board that's working with us to develop that model for just us and for for Rob, because it's highlighted him to us, it's attracted him to us. However, it's not data led. Data is a bit of supporting evidence that backs up our decision that when we meet someone and we feel a kinship with someone, we feel connected to someone that we feel is the right person character-wise for our football club, then that's when it works.
Would you talk to Nathan, or have you spoken to Nathan about the job at all, or was that something?
Yeah, we did. I reached out and he was brilliant. He gave me a call and he was great. Spoke in glowing terms, obviously, of the football club, all the people, all the players. Really, really positive. We had a nice little chat yesterday, so that was really, really good. And of course, like I said, I'll reiterate again, he's done brilliant work here, and obviously we wish him well. On his next journey, but he couldn't have been more positive about this club at all.